Alright, hi everyone, welcome to today's video. On today's being recorded, it is Friday, July 4th, 2025. Yeah. Time is about, I don't know, probably a little after, it's about 10 after 11. What's happening here? It's about 10 after 11. It's about 78 degrees. And, yeah, I'm just gonna be walking home. But there's some cop cars out here. Oh, I didn't even text mom and be like, hey, I'm walking home and all of that. And my keys and that stuff is in my bag. So I can't even grab it. So, yeah. Hope everyone had a real nice and safe 4th of July. Make sure that, I'm not too much in the way. Okay. So with today being the 4th of July, America is officially 249 years old. Okay. Gotta make sure that there's no car coming, that way I can, get out of the way. But anyways, there's a lot of things that happened today throughout the years, of course. Other than today in 1776, because we all know what happened today 249 years ago, at the time this being recorded. Okay, there's a car coming. So anyways, let's see here. Well, there's today in 1776, which the Continental Congress formally adopts the Declaration of Independence in its correct, current, and modern tense. It was written by, of course, Thomas Jefferson. Although I do have to mention that the actual vote for independence was July 2nd. So if you want to be technical, July 2nd is actually Independence Day, if you want to be technical. It's gonna be a lot of craziness going on. What I should have done is I probably should have just had I should have had my keys in my pocket. That way I can be just, reaching in my pocket and grab my keys, and that way I can, unlock the door of the house. That way I don't have to tell mom that, hey, have the door unlocked for me. I'm walking home, or, whatever. Let's see here. So yeah, anyways, Thomas Jefferson originally wrote the Declaration of Independence by orders of the Second Continental Congress. He wrote it in terms of the idea. On the 1st of July, all of the colonies except for Delaware and Pennsylvania said no, in which it was like a straw vote to see where they currently stand. So the following day, the vote was taken again. One of the delegates for Pennsylvania decided to stay home because he was I guess you could say he was a sympathizer for the British, for the Empire. And the head man of Delaware. But yeah. The main guy of Delaware shows up and like, yes, I'm all for independence. And the main guy of Pennsylvania that opposed decided to stay home. And so the independence resolution was unanimously agreed on July 2nd, which officially declared the United States of America its own independent country. Let's see here. But then they spent the next couple days debating on the words, and until they got to the modern version, which was updated on July 4th. That's how we got the Declaration of Independence in its current form. But most of the delegates didn't sign it until about early August of that year. So, yeah, there's also that too. But either way, Declaration of Independence. Alright, let's see here. In 1818, the U.S. Flag Act was passed by Congress. Which stated that the number of stripes on the American flag will always be red and white, alternating between the two. And there'd be 13 of those stripes that, represents the original 13 colonies that would end up becoming the first 13 states. And let's see here. Yeah, eventually it will become the first states. Um, but yeah, the Flag Act said that there can only be no more than 13 stripes. But in order to add in more states to the Union, they decided to add a new star on every next July 4th. Okay, bro was drunk on America, yeah. Bro's drunk. But anyways, Flag Act basically said that, you know, that the stripes will always remain at 13, even though the most number of stripes on the American flag was 15, which that flag was used from 1795 to 1818, and just in time for the new Flag Act rule to be instituted. So yeah, we're gonna be hearing fireworks damn near almost all night, at least until, in most cases, 3 or 4 in the morning. Which, yippee. Gotta love Independence Day for that. The holiday, not the movie. So yeah, anyways, stripes will always remain at 13, but for the stars will always be added to the flag every 4th of July, which is still the rule today. So let's say, hypothetically, I don't know, we'll say that Puerto Rico becomes the 51st state officially tomorrow morning on July 5th at, 11:30 a.m. The flag will not get its new star until the 4th of July next year, which will have 13 stripes and 51 stars. So, yeah. So yeah, that's that. We'll get to that here in a little bit, actually. Now if we turn over to a little bit in military history, just a little bit. In 1863, Union General Ulysses S. Grant, who would eventually become the 18th President of the United States, won a decisive victory for the Union at the Battle of Vicksburg to control the Mississippi River. Or no, that was something else, I think. No, yeah, it was. I'm going based off of a Facebook post I made at work last year on the 4th when I was still on day shift. So yeah, the Siege of Vicksburg ends in a Union victory. So yeah, that's cool. Let's see here. we're going to do a little presidential history, just a little bit. I mean, I guess if you want to kind of say a little minor day in American history, there's today in 1789, which was the first 4th of July under the government of the Constitution. So yeah, there's that. Well, let's see here. 2 presidents, or no, technically 3 presidents died on the 4th of July. But one was born on the 4th. The first 2 died on, July 4th of 1826, which just so happened to be the 50th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration. And you know what presidents died on that day, today in 1826? Well, it was the 2nd president and the 3rd. John Adams, who was the 2nd, and Thomas Jefferson, the 3rd, and the actual author of the Declaration. The last president and the most recent one to die on the 4th was James Monroe in 1831, 5 years later. We also have a presidential birthday for today. In 1872, the 30th president of the United States was born, Calvin Coolidge. So, yeah. Just want to put out there that Calvin Coolidge was originally the vice president to the most recent president from Ohio. And that said president is from my hometown. And hell, he's buried here in my hometown. It is the 29th president, Warren G. Harding, although he died of a heart attack while in office. And, you know, when he died, Calvin Coolidge took over. He took over in 1923, but was also then elected to his own term in 1924. And he served up until 1929. Kind of have bad shoes for walking. I have my flip-flops on. Although earlier, I did have Crocs with me, but I kind of planned on walking home from, the homie's crib. So when I was home earlier this afternoon, I decided to swap my Crocs out for my flip-flops. Alright, let's see here. We got basic history, we got military history, we got some legislation history, we got some presidential history of today. How about a little bit of flag history? Okay. How about, let's see here. Today, in 1960, the American flag in its current form was first introduced. Yeah, going back to the Flag Act of 1818. In 1959, we gained 2 new states. We gained Alaska and Hawaii. Although, on the 4th of 1959 was when we got the star for for Alaska, which we had we had 49 stars. But later that summer, in early August, I do believe, Hawaii became the 50th state, but the star wasn't added until 1960. So, with that being said, let's see here. It turned 50 in 2010, and that was 15 years ago. So the current flag is 65 years old. Yeah. We've had that flag for the longest time in our entire history. The flag we use for the second longest amount of time is our 48 star flag, which was our national flag used during both world wars. We used it from 1912 to 1959. So we used it for quite a while. The flag that we used for the third and longest amount of time, well, it just so happens to be the very first one we ever used. From 1777 to 1795. It had 13 stars and 13 stripes. But it's not the configuration that we all know from history class. That one was made by Betsy Ross. Although it's unlikely if she actually technically made it. There's a lot of historical misconceptions on that one. For the one that Betsy Ross made, at least. God, the bars are probably popping right now. I mean, it's a Friday. It's a holiday weekend. And, it's a holiday. They're going to be popping for the next couple hours. Okay, if I left at around 10 after, it's probably close to around 11:30 right now. So, the homies went to the fair. I didn't go because, well, I didn't have any money. Plus, it's $10 just to get in this year. 10! I remember when I was in, like, just going into high school. This was maybe 10 years ago. And it was like, it's like $8 to get in. Which, you know, that was fine. But I'm like, damn, $10? Because I originally wanted to go get a funnel cake. And I'm like, okay, I can at least wait until the popcorn festival, because at least it's free to get in. Oh. So I wonder what they're going to turn this into. Who knows what they're going to turn it into. Okay, I'm looking at the clock on the courthouse. Looks like it's around 35 after. I think. So, yeah. I think that's all of the major things that happened on July 4th throughout the years. At least for, you know, this country. And apparently, this year officially kicks off, according to what the Cheeto Man says, the America 250 celebrations. Well, see, here's the thing. Here's something to keep in perspective. In April of this year, April 18th and April 19th was the 250th anniversary of not only Paul Revere's ride, but also the start of the revolution. All right. Yeah. Back in May was the 250th anniversary of the attack on Fort Ticonderoga in upstate New York. Led by Ethan Allen of the Green Mountain Boys. in the area of what is roughly the New Hampshire Grants. So, yeah. Alright. So, my rule of thumb about, you know, being out here walking, I need to, like, cross. Run! Okay. I was worried I wasn't gonna make it. But, my rule of thumb when it comes to something crazy like, you know, on the 4th or whatever, stay as close to the major roads as possible and just kind of remain on the major roads, you know, at least until it's safe for me to go onto a side road. Um, but yeah. Back in June was 250 years since George Washington was unanimously elected to become Commander-in-Chief of the Continental Army, as well as the creation of the Continental Army, which also just happened to be Flag Day. There was a cat hidden right in there. So, yeah. I don't think there's any more, I don't think there's any major, like, big battles that, I can really talk about, because there really wasn't too many major battles in 1775. I mean, you really only have like technically you have four main battles, but three are really widely known. You have Lexington, Concord, and Bunker Hill, which also happened in June 17th. Which is, I mean, I guess you could also call it the Great Battle of Boston, because the area of what is Bunker Hill and Breeds Hill, even though the actual fighting took place on Breeds Hill and not Bunker Hill, and at the time was all outside of the city of Boston, and which was, kind of a swampy, marshy kind of landscape, I guess I should say. Yeah. Oh, he's got somebody. Either he's got somebody that he's pulling over, or he's going to a call. But, the British advanced 3 times against Breeds Hill. We, the colonists, pushed them back twice. But after the 3rd attempt, they brought out more reinforcements and cannon fodder. And also, the colonists ran out of ammunition. Because, we had, the colonists for the Battle of Bunker Hill had to make every shot count. And, I don't know if you guys ever heard of the phrase, don't shoot until you see the whites of their eyes, or hold your fire until you see the whites of their eyes. Some variation of that phrase. Yeah, that was the Battle of Bunker Hill. It's just that, though, we didn't have much ammunition, because each one of the colonists had like somewhere between 4 and 7 musket balls apiece, something like that. But, you know. But yeah, I don't think the next big major battle of the war was technically until 1776. When in 1776? I don't remember. If I had to guess, it was some point when the British siege of Boston ended, because the British still occupied Boston after the Boston Tea Party. And, well, after that, the next major city that the British started to occupy was, well, it was New York. And New York would end up being under British control for pretty much for the rest of the entire war, if you want to be technical. There were also a lot of battles for New York that spread across pretty much from early July of 1776 up until like towards the end of the year. Most of all the battles focused around New York City, which more or less was a defeat for us, but also ended up as a stalemate. So, also, I would like to officially announce that I am planning a very big 250th anniversary video for you guys for next year. I smell gas. I don't know if that's a good thing that there's a gas leak or not, but I am going to be doing, it's pretty much going to be like a brief history of the entire country from, I didn't know how far back I wanted to go to, so I thought, should I at least go to like, it's like when man first arrived through the Bering Strait, like 10,000 years ago, or if I wanted to start with like the Native Americans, or did I want to start with the first English settlers? I mean, I technically could start at the Bering Strait, because that's the only way that man would have originally came here to the American continents to begin with. The Bering Strait from Siberia to Alaska, and then they just started moving south all the way to the very tip of South America. So I decided I'm if I don't find anything, okay, so the main thing is that I'm gonna pick 50 important events in American history, and I'm gonna briefly talk about each one, and I'm gonna go in chronological order of when that event happened. Now, when I went online to look up lists of like the most important events in American history, some lists started with colonization, some went straight to the Tea Party or the Boston Massacre and stuff like that. But the vast majority starts at colonization. You know, like Plymouth Rock and Jamestown. And I was curious on which one was technically first. I looked it up, and it was technically Jamestown by like at least like within a decade. At least no more than 15 years apart from each other. So I decided to start out with the first permanent English settlement in what would be the United States, which is Jamestown in Virginia. I'm gonna briefly talk about it and about each thing. And it's gonna be a total of 50. Now, when it comes to most of the lists I looked online as to a good stopping point, almost all of them stops on September 11th of 2001. And I'm like, bro, what the hell? There's been a lot more important events in American history within the last 25 years other than just that. Like, you can't end off on 9/11. Like, at least stop to, at some point in the current decade, at least, in the 2020s. So I don't know how far I want to stop it, but I will eventually figure it out. I really have to go poo, but I'm almost home, so we're almost there. Okay, it's starting to get a lot quieter now, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, honestly. There's a chick I walked past on the other side of the sidewalk. She looked cute. Now, some of these events I have done videos on, and some events I will eventually talk about. But it's going to be a very long project. I actually started it gathering up information probably around this time of year last year. So I've had so it's going to be about 2 years to prep, although now I officially have a year. Alright. Okay, so how long we are? We're about 45 minutes in. So it's... see here, 10 after. 20, 30, 40, 55. Okay, so it's about 5 minutes before midnight. So I'm not gonna walk in until probably a little after midnight. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and end the video off right here. I'm already sweating, but it's okay. I'm gonna end up taking a shower. I'm gonna take a dump. I'm gonna take a shower. And I'm gonna get on my computer and I'm gonna relax. You know? Alright. So that's all I got for now. Thanks for watching. And we'll see you next time or whatever comes up. Alright. Goodbye.